Secrets of the Forgotten, the asylum's dark legacy. The sun had just dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the dilapidated grounds of Crestwood Asylum. Once a grand structure meant to house and heal, it now stood in ruins, a husk of its former self, whispered about in hushed tones by the townsfolk. Rumor had it that the spirits of former patients haunted its halls, tormented by the cruel treatments they had endured. A group of 5 friends, fueled by a mix of curiosity and bravado, decided to uncover the truth behind the stories. There was Jack, the leader of the group with a knack for adventure, Emma, the skeptical but supportive best friend, Liam, the tech-savvy member armed with a camera and gadgets, Chloe, the history buff who had researched the asylum's past, and Noah, the comic relief whose jokes helped lighten the tension. "Are we really doing this?" Noah asked, his voice tinged with a nervous laugh as they stood before the massive iron gates of the asylum. "Absolutely," Jack replied, pushing open the creaking gates. "We've come this far. Let's see what we can find." They made their way through the overgrown courtyard, their flashlights casting eerie beams of light across the crumbling facade. The main entrance door hung ajar, inviting them into the darkness within. Taking a deep breath, Jack led the way inside. The air inside was stale, carrying a faint, musty odor. Peeling wallpaper and broken furniture littered the halls. The friends exchanged uneasy glances but pressed on, their footsteps echoing through the silence. As they delved deeper into the asylum, Chloe recounted its dark history. Crestwood was notorious for its harsh treatments, she explained. Patients were subjected to electroshock therapy, lobotomies, and isolation. Many of them died here, their spirits supposedly trapped by the trauma they experienced. "Great," Noah muttered. "Just what I needed to hear." Liam fiddled with his camera, adjusting the night vision setting. "Let's split up and cover more ground. Jack, Emma, and I will check the upper floors. Chloe and Noah, you take the basement." Splitting up in a haunted asylum? Classic horror movie move, Noah joked weakly. "We'll be fine," Jack assured him. "Keep your walkie-talkies on and yell if you need anything." As they separated, the silence grew heavier. Chloe and Noah descended into the basement, their flashlights revealing long-forgotten medical equipment and rusty gurneys. The atmosphere was oppressive, and they could almost feel the weight of the asylum's tragic past pressing down on them. Meanwhile, on the upper floors, Jack, Emma, and Liam navigated through patient rooms and treatment areas. They discovered old medical records and photographs that hinted at the inhumane conditions the patients had endured. Liam captured everything on his camera, hoping to piece together the asylum's history. In the basement, Chloe and Noah stumbled upon a hidden door. "Should we go in?" Noah asked, his voice shaky. Chloe nodded, her curiosity piqued. They pushed open the door to reveal a small room lined with shelves of dusty journals. Chloe picked one up and began to read, her eyes widening with each page. "Noah, these journals, they're the records of the experiments conducted here. They weren't just treating the patients, they were using them as test subjects." A cold draft swept through the room, extinguishing their flashlights. Panic surged as they fumbled to turn them back on. When the lights flickered to life, they were no longer alone. Shadows moved in the corners of the room, and faint whispers filled the air. "Chloe, we need to get out of here," Noah urged, his voice trembling. Back upstairs, Jack, Emma, and Liam heard the commotion over the walkie-talkies. "Chloe? Noah? What's happening?" Jack called, but there was no response. "We need to find them," Emma said, her face pale with fear. As they rushed to the basement, the sense of dread intensified. They found Chloe and Noah huddled together, the journals scattered around them. "We need to leave," Chloe said urgently. "There's something down here with us." Suddenly, the air grew colder, and an eerie silence fell. The friends stood frozen as a ghostly figure emerged from the shadows. It was a woman, her face twisted in agony, eyes hollow and lifeless. She reached out towards them, her presence radiating a profound sadness. "We're sorry," Jack whispered, unsure if the spirit could hear him. "We didn't mean to disturb you." The spirit's expression softened, and she seemed to nod before fading into the darkness. The friends wasted no time in fleeing the asylum, the weight of their discovery heavy on their minds. Outside, they collapsed onto the grass, the night air a welcome relief. "We need to tell someone about this," Chloe said, her voice shaking. "People need to know what happened here." "Agreed," Jack said. "But first, let's get far away from this place." As they walked away from Crestwood Asylum, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The spirits of the past, forever trapped within the asylum's walls, had shared their story. It was up to the living to ensure it was never forgotten. The group met the following day at Jack's house to go through the footage Liam had captured. They sat in a circle, watching the screen intently. The video showed more than just the decrepit state of the asylum. It captured fleeting glimpses of ghostly apparitions, strange noises, and unsettling shadows that seemed to move of their own accord. "There!" Liam exclaimed, pausing the video. "Look at that!" The screen showed a figure in a white hospital gown standing at the end of a corridor, barely visible in the dim light. The figure's eyes seemed to follow the camera, a silent plea for help etched across its spectral features. Emma shuddered. "Do you think that's one of the patients?" "Maybe," Jack said quietly. "Or maybe it's one of the doctors. We need to dig deeper into these journals and find out what really happened here." Over the next few days, the friends pored over the journals Chloe and Noah had found. They learned of Dr. Evelyn Hart, the head physician at Crestwood, who had pioneered controversial treatments and experiments on the patients. Her obsession with discovering a cure for mental illness had led her down a dark path, resulting in countless deaths and suffering. "The patients were her guinea pigs," Chloe said, her voice filled with disgust. "She didn't care about their well-being. She only cared about her research." One journal entry stood out among the rest. It was written in a shaky hand, the ink smudged with what looked like tears. The entry detailed the final days of a patient named Margaret, who had been subjected to Dr. Hart's experiments. "She begged for mercy," Emma read aloud, her voice trembling. But Dr. Hart was relentless. Margaret's screams echoed through the halls, and when she finally died, her spirit couldn't find peace. As they pieced together the asylum's grim history, the friends realized they had to bring these stories to light. They contacted a local historian, Mr. Bennett, who had a deep interest in Crestwood's past. He was shocked by their findings and agreed to help them share the truth. A week later, an article appeared in the local newspaper, detailing the horrors uncovered at Crestwood Asylum. The friends were interviewed, their testimonies shedding light on the cruelty that had taken place within those walls. The community was appalled, and a movement began to preserve the asylum as a historical site, a memorial to those who had suffered there. Despite their relief at having exposed the truth, the friends couldn't shake the memories of their encounter. Late at night, they would sometimes hear faint whispers or catch glimpses of shadows moving just out of sight. They knew the spirits of Crestwood were still with them, a haunting reminder of the past. But they also felt a sense of peace, knowing they had given those spirits a voice. And as they stood together on the grounds of Crestwood Asylum, watching as workers began to restore the building as a memorial, they knew they had made a difference. The stories of the forgotten patients would never be lost again, and their spirits could finally find some measure of peace. Like and subscribe for more spooky tales.